afternoon. How are you today? This is Mary Lou Foster, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sulphur Springs, Texas. And I'm coming on today with a quick video to highlight one of my favorite bundles that is unfortunately no longer available, but we used it in my class this week. And I know there are people who own this bundle and will be looking for ideas of how to use it. So all is not lost. It's just, unfortunately, if this is one that you would like to purchase, you will probably be best to wait until Tuesday when demonstrators can begin selling retired items, because the new catalog starts Tuesday early in the morning Mountain Time. So that means the current annual catalog and the January to April mini catalog will both be retiring. So those items are, while they are available, and there are still a lot of things that are available, but it's kind of a pick and choose what is and what isn't. What I did to see if this one was available is I just went to the Stampin' Up! Website and I entered the item number for the Potted Geraniums, the 1590-56, and nothing came up. So that let me know that it was no longer available, because they take it off the website when that happens. So this stamp set came as a bundle. There were geranium dies that were sold. You could buy them as a bundle or individually, depending on your preference. There are dies in the dies that stand alone, but you really need the stamp set to go with it. So today we're going to use some of the pieces out of both. Every stamp I used is out of this stamp set. Mark it on the calendar. That doesn't happen very often. A lot of times I have to pull in a sentiment out of another stamp set, but not this time. So true to form, my inspiration card is going to be different from the card I actually make today, just the colors. I wanted to use up paper, of course, that's retiring, and I needed to find some that would coordinate. So this is the polished pink. It retired, or is retiring. Blushing Bride is retiring. So on my inspiration card I combined those, but on my card I'm going to make today, I'm going to use Mary Merlot, which is retiring, Blushing Bride for the matte piece, and then I'm using pieces of paper out of the Framed Florets designer series paper. So it was a way to kind of highlight and use up things. I can go ahead and build the front of the card. This was cut 4x4, and then it was cut diagonally from corner to corner, and then I'm going to space it out so that it kind of leaves some of the cardstock showing. I know this is sort of a weird day for me to be on, but I just have to go with it sometimes. Days are busy, and doctor's appointments get thrown in when they're available, so that kind of throws off the whole routine of when I do things. Thankfully, it's nothing major health-wise, just orthopedic stuff, but you're still at the mercy of their schedule. Oh, stuck to my finger. So if you very carefully peel it off. So what I was trying to do, I think I might have better, like if I start from this corner up here. And then before I stick it down, I kind of want to watch to make sure that it'll line up that direction and line up that direction. And because my fingers were under there, it's not sticking. But I can fix that with a little bit of glue. I don't want to try to use this seal, stamping seal. But I am going to use just a little bit of glue because that's going to irritate me. And I'll hold it. This is unfortunately not a product that Stampin' Up! Sells. But our green glue is very aggressive. Alright. Well, where is the little die cut image? Let me just steal the one out of here. So we're going to build our focal point. There's lots of stamps in this stamp set. There are 17, and one of the reasons is there are details. Like this pot, you can stamp, excuse me while I kind of stick my head up in here. And I probably should be using the piercing mat. Let me go ahead and pull it out so I don't end up with gaps in the middle. I could leave it just like this, but I'm going to add the detail, and I'm just going to add the same color because it'll be a richer, darker, and this adds some interest with the speckles on that pot. You can tell the difference. Alright, get these cleaned up. Now the fun begins, because we're going to stamp those geranium leaves, and it's two-step stamping, which means that we have the outline stamp, and I want to, I don't want to ink it all the way down the stem because I want my stem to just look like it's coming out of the flower pot. So I'll just kind of move this stamp around on the ink pad and get ink on it. I might want it a little lower, but I think this time I'm going to kind of overlap the pots. So this is the outline. I start with the outline. We had this big discussion in class, which do you do first? I prefer to do the outline and then fill it in. Alright, so the good thing about the solid stamp is it doesn't have the little stem to worry with. I'm going to stamp it off because I wanted a lighter color. I want the veins of my leaves to really show up. So you just kind of have to eye it up. It's not meant to be an exact science, but for some of us, we like it more lined up and not quite so random. I like it better whenever it's light and dark like that. My nose is running. Today is not a good allergy day. Alright, I don't think I need that anymore. Now I'm going to do the outline for my flowers in Mary Merlot. I did a, what did I do with it? Beforehand to try to figure, oh, right here. This was the Blushing Bride and Sweet Sorbet. Didn't like it at all. Could have probably tried Polished Pink, but I've already pulled that out of here. But Mary Merlot and Blushing Bride look nice together, and it adds the detail that the flowers need. So Mary Merlot is the dark one. And Just kind of pick a spot. There's probably a right and a wrong. And yeah, that was the right direction. What I did on the other one, I'll show you. I drew an arrow so you would know which was up. It's not as hard for me to figure out which is up on that detail. I will have to move that though so I can see. And this is going to be Blushing Bride. And I've already kind of practiced with it, so I have figured out. Look, I love geraniums. I've got some red geraniums already that I put on the front, in the front flower bed. They are stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. They're outdoing themselves. Alright. So let's stamp the stake. And I'm going to do it in Memento Black. And it'll be die cut out. There are lots of choices of stamps that you can put in this, depending on what you want to say. There's a thank you, smile, friend, just for you. And they fit perfectly in there. Go figure. Let me cover back on that. Then I'm going to stamp, I'm going to make this thank you. But the fun thing about these, you have to read backwards. And maybe that'll fit on there. I think I may want a little bit bigger. So, you know, these photopolymer stamps, they work better if you just lay them on your surface and let them kind of take their shape and then mount them on the stamp. And I learned that with another one of the two-step stamps. We were having difficulty. You know what? I should have checked that out first. Ready? I'm going to clean off the U. Ink up just the thing. And then I'll ink up just the U. Kind of like doing surgery. You just have to be really careful. And let's see, I should have covered it or cleaned it. Oops, upside down. That'll work. Thank you. Looks dark. I guess when it dries, it will dry the right color of green. So that's a hint. I don't cut my stamps apart. Sorry, just don't do that. But you can cover part of it. There's different people. I didn't really do it right, but I inked very carefully just the thank. You could also use your markers. That's a good time to use them because these small areas like this are way easier. Here's the die. Whenever you're, alright, I'm going to be right off camera. Well, I think I might can put the little jobby right here. This is the mini cut and emboss machine. And I think for good measure, I'm just going to put a piece of washi tape across it so it doesn't move. Put the top on it and run it through. I do like this little mini right here by me because there are times whenever I just need one little something and I can run it through that and I don't have to get up. I keep the other one in another room, the big one, because there's not room. I don't have a firm, flat surface in this space. Let's move that out of the way. Bring this back in. I'm going to mount this on dimensionals, so it's not sitting flat on the surface. I didn't do anything fancy like with ribbon. We do have some sparkles on it, because you know you gotta have sparkles. I'm gonna use some of the edge here. Do that. Do that. So it doesn't droop right here in between those corner pieces. Take off the covers so it will stick. Just gonna go in the middle here, and then what I did is I just gave it a little cut so I could make it look like it's sticking down in the pot. And I think just a regular one will work. Yes, it will. And pick a spot here. How about that spot? So we're going to need that on the inside. But we used the In Color, the 21, 23 In Color opal rounds. They, of course, are retiring. I did not check to see if they're still available or not, but they're so pretty. I think we'll do the pink ones. Like, I can do a pink one here. These are actually the polished pink, pretty sure. And no, they're not Blushing Bride or Mary Merlot, but let's see. Hey, you know what I think I'll do? Do I have the butterflies right here? I don't think so, because we used them in a card. We also used the dragonflies. But I think I'm going to put a butterfly when I get that out. So let's do the inside. Originally, this was a birthday card, but I just made it be a thank you card because I am seriously needing thank you cards. But that doesn't mean I can't still make the inside pretty. I just don't have to use the sentiment. For our card, we used birthdays are reminders that life should be celebrated, and we stamped it on. That die is one of the dies in this die set. Pretty cool that it has a little outline die. I think, did I do some paper. So let's put that in there. And it's just side to side, 4 inches there. You know what I think we'll do? I think we'll do a single bunch of just the geraniums right along the bottom here. That's the Mary Merlot. And do Blushing Bride for the flower part. Now remember which side is up. See this one little flower right here? It has a little spot right here. So that's kind of how I identify what's up and what's down. Let's see here. Kind of nestle that up in there. Hey, how pretty. So that is our card for today. Plenty of room to write a thank you note. Has our sparkles. I'm going to put a butterfly on it. That'll be a really sweet little thank you note to send to someone. So, unfortunately, I can't tell you, oh, go buy this bundle quick because it's already sold out. But you've got an idea now how to use the set that you might have in your possession. And also the layout. I always look for cards, look at the background to see, okay, what did they do? What paper did they use? How did they use it? So that was what I had for you today. I appreciate your time and have a great Saturday. See you next time.